how's everybody doing today? My name is Steven Rosenberg and this is Ginzburg. Welcome to Marketing Success in Under 10 Minutes. We're really excited today. We're going to be talking about a lot of different things, but the most important thing we're going to be talking about is really engaging with your audience on a consistent basis. So I'm never a proponent of telling people to just make noise just to make it, or to just put stuff out there for no reason. But I am an advocate of constantly engaging with your audience. So what that means is that I think there's a lot of people that struggle with how do I come up with really compelling and really great engagement content to come up with my audience constantly. And it doesn't always have to be where you're the one that's inventing, all these creative things. You can even just pose a question to your audience. You can do little simple things to engage them. And I think that that's really important because it shows both internally you're being very disciplined. It is definitely a habit you have to learn how to do to constantly engage your audience. What do you think? Do you have an opinion on that? Do you think too much engagement is bad?
Yeah, I totally agree with what you're saying. Well, first of all, engagement is very important with your audience because you want to make sure you're adding value. I mean, that's what you're doing, right? And I totally agree with you. You don't need to be the one actually creating the content all the time. I mean, a lot of times I might just post something like an article or a blog post that I saw, or a video that I saw. I mean, it's not necessarily my own created content, but it is still relevant and it's still important. And I think it's good to just put your own little opinion or observation or a little blurb about what you think this piece of content is all about, and put your spin on it. So totally don't need to be the one creating all the content yourself. But engagement in terms of one of the things I've read, that for example one of the people I follow, the gurus I follow, Gary V, as we all know, Gary Vaynerchuk. I mean, one of the things he talks about is engaging daily. So maybe putting a piece of content, either yours or someone else's piece of content, and discussing that every day, and then also posting just a quick post on Instagram or Facebook or Twitter 6 or 7 times a day. So of course it's a lot of posting, and a lot of people think I don't have time to do that. But if you want to stay engaged with your audiences, a lot of times I feel I also feel it's a lot, but I feel you kind of have to in order to stay engaged. What are your thoughts, Steven?
And maybe it's not even engagement, it's being relevant in today's world. It's very easy to fall off. Speaking of Gary Vee, one thing that I constantly see him calling people out on is there's no excuse for you to go a week without posting something on any one of your channels.
Yeah.
If you're behind the business of, digital marketing, that is. And so I think, again, engagement, but also just making sure that you're at the top of people's minds and trying to add value. So it's not spamming someone if you post your video twice in 1 month. You're not shoving it down their throat.
Well, also,
but you're
the one thing I was going to say, sorry, just to quickly interrupt, is that you can post the same video twice in 1 month, but that's because not everybody's going to see it the first time. Only a percentage of people will actually see it. So from a content perspective, and from a reach, I guess, visibility perspective, you're not going to get 100% of reach and visibility for your video. So it's totally fine to repost it again, a couple of weeks later, and maybe a few other people will see it. So totally agree with that.
Yeah. One thing that I do, let's sort of turn the conversation from the engagement side to the people that engage back with you when you put something out there, is getting through, not spammers, but people that are just looking for something from you. They don't really have your best interest, but you'll pose a question and then a bunch of people will DM you or something along those lines, and then it's just figuring out, who is realistic, who is a robot, and I think that's a very challenging standpoint, because if I get a bunch of messages, I try very hard to respond to all of them, but I don't like responding to the ones where they're just oh, buy my product, or it's just complete BS, and it from the very beginning. It's a very programmatic message. Do you ever get that?
I don't get it so much in my social media, like on my Facebook. Although if I do get it, and maybe I have gotten it maybe once or twice, I just delete it and disengage with that user. I have gotten it more on like my blog posts on my blog, like on my website, where people would leave comments. Not people, but like bots would leave comments about like buying stuff. But I just don't approve those comments. So. Yeah, one thing, to keep in mind is that you can always just disengage with those users if you feel like either they're being spammy or they're being too forward or they're just not adding any value, or they're being negative. One of the things that we discuss on this video is like negativity. I mean, one of the things is, of course, everybody at one point, you and me, Stephen, you and me, and everybody out there who is doing any sort of posting, I'm sure will get some, some haters out there, and maybe a person's just having a bad day or something like that, and but they will post negative comments, and so. In my opinion, what I think what I would do, or what I have been doing, is exactly the same. What I just mentioned is delete the post, delete the comment, and then disengage with that particular user.
Oh, really?
Yeah, don't respond.
See,
I don't respond.
Okay.
It just creates a lot of negativity if you respond.
See, but I do the opposite approach. I definitely don't delete it. I'm not scared of, I think it makes them look worse than it makes me look worse. Like, even if they say something really horrible and degrading towards me, it's often some anonymous person that's scared to, really put forward who they are. But I'll just say something positive back, or something, like, oh, thanks so much for the encouragement. Even though they're like, you suck, you're horrible, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, oh, thanks a lot, I don't know. I try not to let that stuff bug me. If someone really has an issue with me, they'll reach out. I agree that it should not let that bug you, but I typically just remove the comment and disengage. Delete it.
And I think, and in my opinion, again, I'm sure everybody's got their own opinion, and Stephen, you do what is necessary for you, but in my opinion, I think you just, you create this like energy bubble when you start like engaging with that user, and it just creates a lot of like this perpetual negativity, I feel like, from, talking from like a holistic perspective.
Yeah, you're talking about, like the people that'll get really into it or take offense to it personally and start engaging them and like, okay, yes, that I agree with. So it's better to just take it off.
Yeah, I think so.
So I think engagement is important. I think one thing that we should have our audience do this week is challenge yourself to reach out to your audience and engage in them with a very genuine, question. And try to go through this process. Let us know how it turns out for you. Do you have anything else you want to discuss today, Gene?
No, I think this was a great video because everybody always is talking about engagement, and I think this was really helpful for just getting it out there and having our audiences see this, and hopefully they will be able to use it in their own social media and their engagement with their audiences. And of course, we always love to hear your comments. We love to hear your questions. Sometimes we answer questions on our video that we get through our email or through our social media. So keep the questions coming. We totally love that. And I think that I'm good for today. Thank you very much, Stephen. Anything you want to add? Any final words?
No. I will see you next week, Jim.
Thank you very much. Have a good day.
See you guys.
Thanks so much for watching. We hope you'll continue to get involved and join us as we help you find success in your entrepreneurial journey. Please follow, like, and share with others who will find this beneficial. We'll see you on the next episode of Marketing Success in Under 10 Minutes with Stephen and Gene.